Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at urban transportation.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at the Yamaha NMAX 125 scooter.
We found this really cool article, and we're going to be breaking it down for you. And we're going to talk about why it matters even if you don't ride.
Yeah, like if you're not a hardcore motorcycle enthusiast, you might be thinking, what's the big deal?
But it's more about how we're rethinking transportation,
Exactly.
especially in these, increasingly crowded cities.
Yeah, for sure.
So this scooter,
The NMAX 125?
it's got some seriously cool features.
Oh, yeah.
Like just imagine this, you're like zipping through traffic, and all of a sudden, boom, your phone's navigation pops up right on the scooter's dash.
That's pretty cool.
It's called the Yamaha Y-Connect system.
Yeah, it's part of this whole trend we're seeing.
It's like that seamless integration of our digital lives.
It's not just about the vehicle itself.
It's about the experience it provides.
Right.
Yeah. And, speaking of experience, this scooter even has traction control,
Oh.
which you usually only find on like high-end motorcycles.
Yeah.
And get this, it gets like an incredible fuel efficiency.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
2.3 liters per 100 kilometers.
I mean, you're saving so much money compared to driving a car.
Yeah, that's got to save you a ton of cash at the pump.
Especially if you're commuting every day, you could be looking at hundreds of dollars a year in savings.
Wow, really? Hundreds. Okay, now I'm really paying attention.
Yeah.
All right, so let's actually dive into the article, and let's see what else this NMAX 125 has to offer. So first off, the design.
Yes.
They describe it as sleek and compact,
Mhm.
perfect for like navigating those busy city streets.
And it has these really sharp aerodynamic lines.
Oh yeah,
It's clear that Yamaha is going for a really stylish, modern aesthetic.
you're not messing around.
No, and it makes sense because they're targeting a very specific audience.
Who's that?
Urban commuters who want a practical ride, but they don't want to sacrifice looks.
It's not your grandpa's scooter.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and they even mentioned a comfortable seat and a spacious footboard.
Which is nice if you're stuck in rush hour traffic.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be cramped. But okay,
Sure.
let's get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Let's talk about the engine.
The engine. This NMAX 125 packs a 125cc Blue Core engine. Okay, so break it down for me. What exactly is Blue Core?
So Blue Core is all about efficiency,
Okay,
eco-friendliness.
I like it already.
Yamaha has really focused on maximizing fuel economy, minimizing emissions,
Right.
and they've managed to squeeze 12 horsepower and 11 newton meters of torque.
Hold on, back up for a sec. 11 newton meters of what? Now, can you explain that in a way that makes sense for someone who doesn't speak engine?
Sure, so think of torque as the force that gets you moving.
Okay,
So 11 newton meters, that's more than enough for you to accelerate quickly from a standstill or tackle those uphill climbs without feeling sluggish.
okay, so you're not going to be winning any races.
Probably not, but you'll
Certainly
be
not.
able to merge into traffic. You'll be able to handle hills, no problem.
Okay, so it's peppy enough to handle city life. But how does this NMAX 125 stack up against its rivals? The article mentioned a few competitors, right?
Yes, they did.
Like what were they?
So they mentioned the Honda PCX 125,
Okay.
the Piaggio Liberty 125,
Uh-huh.
and the Suzuki Address 125.
Okay, interesting.
Now here's where the comparisons get interesting. So the Honda PCX 125, it's a little bit more expensive,
Okay.
but it gets slightly better fuel economy.
How much better are we talking?
Maybe like 5 to 10 kilometers more per liter.
Okay.
So you're saving a bit more on gas.
Right.
You might not get all those fancy features.
Ah, so it's like a trade-off.
Yeah,
Fuel savings versus all the bells and whistles.
pretty much.
Okay, what about the other two?
Hmm.
The Piaggio and the Suzuki.
Right, so the Piaggio Liberty 125, that one's actually more affordable,
Okay.
but it doesn't have as many tech features. Like you won't find the Y-Connect system on that one.
No navigation, no alerts.
Exactly.
Uh,
So it's a good option if you're on a budget.
Yeah, just looking for something simple.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And the Suzuki.
The Suzuki Address 125, that one's also budget friendly,
Huh.
but it's even more basic.
Okay, so really stripped down.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it sounds like this NMAX 125, it's kind of aiming for that sweet spot,
I think so.
like a good mix of features and style,
Yeah.
but without breaking the bank.
Right.
Okay, so speaking of features, let's circle back to that Yamaha Y-Connect system for a second.
Okay.
You mentioned navigation and alerts, but what else can it do?
So basically, it turns your scooter's dash into a smartphone hub.
Oh, wow.
So you can get text notifications,
Oh.
you can see incoming calls, you can even check the weather.
All without taking your hands off the handlebars.
Without that taking your eyes off the road.
That's amazing. But I gotta ask, isn't that kind of distracting?
I mean, it's a valid concern, but Yamaha's really thought this through.
Okay.
The information is displayed in a really clear and concise way.
So it's not overwhelming.
Exactly, and you can even customize what notifications you want to see.
Well, that's nice. So you're not constantly bombarded.
Right.
That makes sense. It's all about finding that balance, right? Between convenience and safety.
Exactly.
You know, for a scooter, this NMAX 125 sounded pretty high-tech.
It really is.
Anything else about it that surprised you?
Honestly, the under-seat storage blew me away.
Really?
It can fit a full-face helmet.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Right.
Like for running errands.
No more carrying your helmet around.
Or if you're commuting with gear.
Exactly.
That is so convenient.
And it's not just about convenience. It's also a safety feature.
How so?
Because if you have a secure place to store your helmet, you're more likely to actually wear it.
That's a good point. Okay, so we've talked about the design, we've talked about the tech, the practicality. But what about the ride itself?
Ah, yes, the ride.
The article mentioned a top speed of around 100 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, about that.
Is that accurate?
I mean, it's in the ballpark.
Okay.
But keep in mind, this scooter is designed for city riding.
You're not going to be setting any speed records.
Not exactly.
But 100 kilometers per hour is still enough to handle some highway riding if you need to.
Oh, for sure.
Like you could get out of the city if you wanted to.
Absolutely. And with that fuel efficiency, you could cover a lot of ground.
How far are we talking?
The article estimated a range of about 300 kilometers on a single tank.
300 kilometers on one tank.
Yeah,
That's insane. You could practically go a whole week without filling up.
depending on your commute.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And think about the environmental impact, too.
Less gas, less emissions.
Exactly.
It's like a win-win for your wallet and the planet.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
impressive how Yamaha has packed so much into this scooter. They even have some pretty cool color options.
Oh, yeah. I like the power
It's
gray.
sharp.
And the phantom blue.
Very sleek.
And, of course, the classic matte black.
Yeah, they're definitely appealing to a design-conscious consumer.
Oh, absolutely. They want riders to feel good about being seen on this scooter.
Yeah, it's a statement piece.
For sure.
Okay, but let's not forget about safety. The article mentioned ABS,
Yes, ABS is standard.
which is great, but can you explain why that's so important?
Especially for newer riders, absolutely. So ABS stands for anti-lock braking system.
Okay.
And what it does is it prevents the wheels from locking up when you brake hard.
Which can be really dangerous.
Yeah, you can lose control and skid.
Especially in slippery conditions.
Right. Or if you have to brake suddenly.
So ABS helps you stay in control.
Exactly. It gives you that extra layer of protection.
I like it. And on top of ABS, the NMAX 125 also has that traction control system.
Right. Which helps prevent wheel spin.
Especially on wet surfaces.
Or uneven surfaces.
Yeah, Yamaha's not messing around when it comes to safety.
Not at all.
You know, this whole conversation has got me thinking, we're seeing more and more of these like high-tech,
Eco-friendly.
yeah, eco-friendly scooters popping up everywhere.
It's a trend.
It makes you wonder, could scooters like this actually be a key part of the future of urban mobility?
It's an interesting question.
I mean, they're efficient, affordable, and they take up way less space than cars.
And with all these advancements in technology, they're becoming even more connected and safer.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like, what if scooters were the vehicles that helped us create more sustainable cities?
Less congested cities.
Yeah, a future where getting around is just easier,
More enjoyable.
cleaner.
It's a vision worth exploring.
It really is.
And I think it starts with understanding the needs of urban dwellers.
Like, what do people who live and work in cities actually need from their transportation?
Maybe it's not always a car.
Maybe it's something more agile,
Or adaptable.
more in tune with the rhythm of city life.
Like a scooter, perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know what's really been sticking with me about this NMAX 125?
What's that?
It's just so cool how Yamaha's kind of like blurring the lines between a scooter and a smartphone.
Yeah, with that Y Connect thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they took all the best parts of like a connected car and just like shrunk them down.
Miniaturized them to scooter size.
Exactly.
You got navigation, you got notification.
Maintenance alerts
It's all right there.
at your fingertips.
I'll be honest, at first I was a little skeptical.
I get it.
But after hearing how much they focused on safety,
Right.
minimizing distractions,
Yeah.
I'm starting to come around.
Yeah, it's really about making that tech work for you.
Right, not against you.
Exactly.
And that's what makes this whole deep dive so interesting, right?
Totally.
It's not just about like,
Specs on a page.
yeah, or like the theory of it all.
It's about real-world solutions.
For real people.
Commuting every day.
Yeah, and we talked about fuel efficiency, what that means for your wallet.
But it's also about the bigger picture, you know?
Like less congestion.
Less pollution.
Yeah, making cities more livable.
For everyone.
Exactly, and doing it in style.
I mean, come on.
This NMAX 125, It looks good.
It's sharp.
You wouldn't be embarrassed to be seen on this thing.
No way.
So it makes you think, could this be the start of, like, a shift?
Away from cars
Yeah, like what if cities were actually designed around scooters?
and other forms of micromobility.
Yeah, pedestrian-friendly streets.
To dedicated bike lanes
Oh, yeah. And imagine, like, charging stations.
all over the place.
Yeah, integrated into public spaces.
That would be awesome.
It's like a vision of the
Where
future.
getting around is just easier,
More enjoyable.
cleaner.
Yeah, and it's not as crazy as it sounds.
Right.
I mean, we're already seeing this happening.
In cities around the world.
Yeah, from bike-sharing programs.
To electric scooter rentals.
Yeah, it's happening.
The future's coming.
So what does all this mean for you?
Our listeners.
Yeah, the people listening right now. It means the way we think about urban transportation,
It's changed.
it's evolved, man.
And these scooters,
Like this NMAX 125.
they're at the forefront,
They're leading the charge.
showing us what's possible.
Yeah, they're a reminder that, like, innovation,
It can come in all shapes and sizes.
yeah, and that sometimes the smallest vehicles,
Can have the biggest impact.
I like that. That's a good takeaway. So on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you learned something new.
Maybe sparked your curiosity.
Got you thinking about the future of transportation.
A little differently.
And if you have any thoughts,
Experiences.
even disagreements,
We want to hear from you.
head over to our social media.
Join the conversation.
Until next time.
Happy riding.